Hey, Lewis, I saw that. Hey guys, we'll get started in like 4 or 5 minutes. Just waiting for Martuza to send me his Zoom link. Um, this stream is not me losing more trades. It is basically a weekly company update, really, and to answer some questions. So if you do have questions, drop them in the chat, and Yavuz will grab them. And at the end of the, I guess, presentation, we'll cover them all. Won't be too long before we get started. Can you get the wallpaper? I think we can possibly arrange that. Just don't know how we would deliver it to you. It's entirely possible.
Hey, Josh.
Hey guys, just one more minute. Mertuza is just setting something up and then we'll get going. unmuting.
Okay, great.
Ready to go.
Awesome. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? It's been a while. Uh, Not much has changed in my life. Well, I did lose about 5 pounds, but that's besides the point. We have some amazing updates for you guys. Josh and Yavuz and the team has obviously been keeping us up to date. We have this amazing MFF versus Trader scene going on, as well as the pizza party, which I am planning on taking part in as well. I think that's closing today. Uh, so yeah, let's get started without further ado. We have a very active chat as well. So yeah, man, we'll be following your questions closely, and we'll try to answer all of them. How does that sound, Josh?
Sounds good to me. I can see a lot of people are talking already. We have a little bit of a delay between the stream, so if people can bear with us on that too, it's probably about 2 minutes. So just if we answer your questions late, just chill out and we'll get to them.
All right, sounds good. So Josh, yeah, on that point, so I see the meeting will start at 5 p.m. still on YouTube. Is that okay? Or
I am watching YouTube on my other monitor, and it is showing your face and your slide.
that is crazy. Oh, there it is. I just refreshed it. Okay, awesome. All right, so we'll get started. Let me go click here and go next page. So the agenda for today's meeting, we'll talk about some amazing company updates as well as general updates. We have been getting a lot of questions regarding where the company is heading. What are we doing behind the scenes? We're not as vocal and as, we're in business of technology and we're in business of financial sector. We are not in business of social media and, doing like Instagram stories all the time and going live. So do bear with us. We will catch up on that front. But what I focus on, or the team mostly focuses on, is the technology that goes behind the traders and the tools that we can provide you guys as far as supporting all that is concerned. So some good updates coming that way. We have the MFS versus pizza party, and guys, my other monitor is this way, so if I'm looking this way, that's where I'm reading it from. So apologize in advance. And then we have some interesting stats that Josh and the team has put together for you guys, as well as what the successful traders are doing. We'll just dive right into it. So Josh, why don't you go through the points and I'll elaborate where I can.
Okay, so with the infrastructure update, a lot of you know that we had some issues with our dashboard. This was mostly due to load. So we had huge growth in July, and unexpected, a little bit unexpected. It was always a possibility. And essentially what that did was put an enormous load on our APIs that connect to the trading server that pull users' data. And so we had to come up with a quick fix and an infrastructure change to fix that. A lot of you have either reported some problems with the dashboard in the past and they should be fixed now. You should see them as fixed now. If they're not fixed, please do tell us so that we can go and fix them, because the majority of accounts work, but every now and then something will slip through and we need to fix it. So just the scale of the upgrade that we did is so large. I don't think that people quite realize it, but when you have over 8,000 people plus per day checking a dashboard, and the number of requests for information that dashboard does is very significant and requires a huge amount of infrastructure, which of course Murtuza, because your background is IT. The little that I know, just from like web traffic and all that sort of information, it was kind of amazing that things held up as long as they did. And it was also amazing that we were able to only have a very short downtime when we upgraded them. So fortunately that's now done, so we can focus on like GUI based issues. just like the appearance of the dashboard and the content of it as well. So that's kind of the step that we're going to make from now, unless of course our CEO decides that we're going to do something else. But the dashboard in terms of stability now should be pretty secure.
And yeah, I think Josh, you hit the nail on the head there. So the effort that we took here to go from, so we had close to, I would say, 400 individual VPSs, each kind of sort of doing 20 to 30 accounts, more at times, less at other times, gathering information, sending it to our main application. That was just getting out of hand, and the custodian of those VPSs weren't doing their job as thoroughly as they should have. So we thought might as well move to an enterprise such as Azure that can scale with us, and this puts us right in there. So from a scalability perspective, from security perspective, from backup, disaster recovery, all that is there now. So I can sleep a little better at night knowing Azure, Microsoft is supporting us on that front. As another big thing is our analytics, right? So even our analytics engines were getting hammered there. A lot of calls, as Josh mentioned, a lot of calls go back and forth between the trade server, the traders, MT4s. So this kind of sort of streamlines that process as well and gives us scalability options where we can scale as demand grows. Talking about scalability, a year ago, I think a year and 2 weeks ago is when we started, right? And it's kind of amazing to see how and where we are today. So Josh will go a little bit deeper in the staffing side of things as well, but we have grown about 10 times the size we were about a year ago with different departments, as you can see. So we have the IT department, the backend support, the trader support, which is Yahoo, Connor, Tojo, AJ, and a lot of other amazing people. One point there is that we hire traders to support traders. So we don't hire your usual customer service people. If it's a trader talking to another trader, they will understand their problem more, in an efficient way and can communicate better. So, something that distinguishes us from others. We have a billing team, an operations team, a social team, a website, and administrative teams as well. So, the company is growing at an enterprise speed, and within the next 3 to 4 months, we'll have an HR team, and separate internal compliance teams as well. Josh, you want to add something along those lines? Perhaps add some numbers as well?
Yeah, so I mean, I've only been with the company almost 5 months now, right? Something like that, I think.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And when we first started, there were not many people in the company. There was like 7, I think, 7 or 8 maybe.
Yeah.
And now we're just ticking over 60, and that doesn't include contractors. Like if there's a specific job we have to do, obviously we have to contract it out, but like we're talking about permanent staff here. So we're at about 60 now. We just hired 2 more from front end, a bunch of back end people, IT people. We're trying to hire more IT people. We are also looking for more support staff. I think now we only have about 6 hours where we're not covering support online on the website. Discord is another question, but yeah, we're growing, and I wouldn't be surprised if this time next year we're at like 150 staff, unless we can somehow automate everything. But it's really nice too, because we have a good bunch of people. As you said, the majority are traders, not all of them. Because I handle front end mostly, and that includes the hiring. I try to mix it a little bit. So majority of our staff are traders, but we have one or two support staff who aren't, and that's to add a different type of feel to support too, because traders are traders, right? And we're all very fast paced, myself included. And sometimes you need someone to sort of balance that a little bit. So we have a few people in support too that balance that out, but they're now up to date with, I guess, trading in general. They're not traders yet, but they're pretty close to it. And they love the job too. They love talking to everyone as well. Like a lot, the first person that I hired that wasn't a trader, every day she's telling me how much she enjoys her job. So I guess thank you to everyone for that too, because you made her feel welcome. But she adds a different dynamic as well.
Amazing. And I know, Josh, we have been getting asked how many live accounts we have, and what are the monthly payouts, or accumulated payouts that we have had. So that's point number 3 on this screen right now. You can go a little bit deeper in that if you want. Yeah.
So I guess we kind of split this, right? So payouts is sort of your department, and the server stuff is sort of my department, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We grow in live accounts, just live accounts. It's something like 50 to 100 per day, an increase in funded accounts that we support. And that number is increasing quite quickly, actually, because I can remember looking at it, could have been a week ago, and going, oh, 2,000, that's amazing. And now we're over 3,500, which is very exponential growth. And it also is a tribute to our traders too, because it's not, obviously these are all live accounts, but you'll see guys with 3 live accounts, 5 live accounts, like they get through the phases and everything themselves, or they mix it up and have some accelerated and some evaluation. So you see names multiple times in that live server, and it's great to see. And it's always fun to see people that I've spoken to in Discord or on the stream recently who I recognize, and I see them in live accounts as well. So it is good for my own morale to see those types of things. So I'm very happy about that. And as we discussed earlier when I made a call to you, in July we paid out around $500,000. And most of that, if I recall correctly, was like the last week, bit more than a week of July, correct? It wasn't in the beginning.
I would say a majority of it came during the later part of the month. So I would say 80% of that was the 2 weeks. I think majority of the bigger accounts that we had matured. So the 200K accounts and whatnot, as well as some big accelerated accounts. So and this number just keeps on going up as well, which is a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing for the traders. It's a good thing for the company as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are paying $1 million out in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I would almost put a wager on it happening this month, but
ooh, okay.
I'm not so sure about that, because as the people who watch the stream know, that I'm pretty good at losing. So
I still have to check your streams out. I checked it out a couple of times, but we may need to talk afterwards if you're losing.
No, I did well today, so it's all fine.
All right. TradingView. What's happening there?
Right. So this is, I don't want to say a me thing. It kind of fell on top of me. TradingView reached out to us because we have a widget on our website, and the way that TradingView works is they really like having traders on their website, and one of the ways to do that is for us to provide their charting and execution through that charting on our website. Now we've come to an agreement. We just have some dotted lines to sign and some programming to do. It's not a very difficult programming task. I'm hoping by the end of the month it is done. Can't guarantee it. Hoping that it is. So we will be able to provide TradingView charting from our website direct to our customers to execute on their trading accounts.
That's amazing.
For free, right? For free.
That is amazing.
I did check. So before I entered my big meeting with them, I did survey our guys in Discord, asking what features they want and everything like that. From what they tell me, and because I'm not overly familiar with TradingView that much, like I know the basics of it, but not the in-depth stuff. Majority of the premium features are available in this charting, which included like the different time frames and stuff that aren't available in MetaTrader and things like that, right? So just to inform people so that everything's transparent, TradingView adds another layer to your trading. So that means that your execution is going to be a little bit slower. They tell me that it's not more than a few milliseconds, but it's also a web app. So with web apps, it's connection dependent plus the connection to the trading server and everything like that. So it's lovely to provide this type of thing, but I just want people to know before we provide it that they could see some delays in the execution there, and it is either the connection between the chart and the trading server or their own internet connection when accessing the web app to trade on the server.
Cool. Makes sense. Yeah. The more hops we add, the more technology we add, the slower the things get. So yeah, people need to realize that, and traders will kind of sort of gauge what the right balance is as we go along. So we'll leave that decision to them.
Yeah. They guaranteed me that it's fast. So,
Cool. Yep. I'm just reading some of the comments, and they're a lot of fun. Yeah, I was just saying that Josh is doing great. Just watch today's stream. Okay, so I'll watch you. Watch today's stream. Let's see. I know I'm going off the script a little bit, but these comments are pretty cool. Wow. So MFF don't have a cap on payouts by Florence Swads. Nah, man. I mean, why would we? If someone's making money, it's good. It's good for them. It's good for us. So why would we cap it? I don't understand that. Can we send resumes? I mean, you can. We do get a lot of resumes. If you're the right fit and we're looking for that position to be filled, we'll definitely.
If you speak French, please send your resume.
There you go. And it has to be more than bonjour, ça va bien, ça va très bien, right? Yeah. Let's see, maybe do slow chat for now. It will be easier. Okay. Let's move on. Guys, as you can see on the right side of that screen, right here, we have this really cool logo. It's about 6 foot long. It lights up at night. We'll take some better pictures and send it up. This is going in our office, which is being built right now. So yeah, it'll be cool to showcase that to you guys as well when it's all ready. All right, next page. Oh, next slide. MFS versus trader. So yeah, I guess this is the topic of the hour. We have been talking about this. So Josh has been doing some, trading in early morning, 9 a.m. to whatever, and has been a big success. Hopefully it has been a big success. If not, then Josh, I know where you live. I'm coming for you. Just a quick update on this front. What's going on? How do we plan on continuing such efforts? And what do we plan on doing moving forward?
Right. So this promotion kind of took a shape of its own. Originally, we were doing it just for new opt-in accounts. We got a few of those. We grabbed a few live accounts. We grabbed a few already started evaluations. We pulled them all together. We changed the price for each one so that it's fair in general for the people who opted in and did the right thing and everything like that. And it's been quite good. Now I say that hesitantly because I am not doing wonderfully, but the promotion is doing wonderfully. There are people who are doing very well with their trading, which is fantastic. And obviously the intention of this promotion is not so much for MFF to always win, right? It's kind of have fun and to enjoy each other as a community, right? So it's been nice. We've been streaming every day, and I've been actually more focused on talking to the traders than actually trading, which is also nice. It gives me a lot of positive reinforcement because people are so nice and they have really interesting questions and really interesting backgrounds. In terms of trading, I will just say this. After 4 days, people decided that it would be advantageous for them to trade opposite me, and then today they lost. So it worked out. It worked out okay for me. I'm still down, but I think one of the lessons you can take from this event, and if you're watching me, is that staying in the game is kind of the most important factor, because you never know when you're going to come back. And it's kind of showing now, right? So I'm still down, but I'm on the way up. I'm definitely not coming last, because some people have already lost their account, so that's great for me. But we are going to do this. We're looking at every 2 weeks, but it probably will be more along the lines of every 3 weeks as we adjust it. I have mentioned as well in the stream that we're going to adjust it to include all account values as well. So the prize will be dependent on what account size you have. So, for example, right now, if your prize is a refund and you only bought a 10K account, you will only get a refund for a 10K account, whereas a 200K trader will get a refund for a 200K account, right? Just to keep it fair. But the one thing that will be certain is that we will cap it at 20 people at a time. The reason for that is the number of explicit words that have been uttered to me from Yavuz for trying to keep up with the leaderboard. We can't put any more burden on him, because it's quite a lot to do a leaderboard update every day or two. We've only posted 1 or 2, I think. So yeah, that's one thing. I don't think we can automate it, but yeah, we've been posting the top 5, and for now, my name is not on it yet.
Okay,
but
yeah, that's good.
And the next MFF versus trader will probably be against Martuza. He will be the MFF trader. Just to throw you under the bus there.
Hey, why not?
He is the only one who has the technology to do. I don't know. We need to get the other MFF guys the ability to stream, because I think streaming is the best way to deliver our trades. But in the meantime, we might do recordings. I know that Yavuz really wants to get involved. Connor wants to get involved. Angel wants to get involved. I think Scott is the other one. Igor is the other one. So this is something that's going to be ongoing for a long time, and it won't always be my ASMR-like voice of one single tone. It will be all the cultures that we have in our team. So
that is awesome.
It's very exciting, I think, for everyone, really.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I see some questions popping here, so and there was one in particular that we can answer together in tandem. Josh, so no, seriously, are you guys a broker or B broker? Good question, Scott. Good question, Scotty. That is actually a good question. And I would say, with the little institutional trading experience that I have, and Josh has a lot more, no one really is either or, right? So they're always a combination. So there's A, B, and C broker, right?
I don't think that's accurate.
Okay.
So the way you deal per se is different, right? So for his question, my interpretation of Scott's question is, do you execute trades or do you not execute trades, right?
Okay.
Because that's the industry question. Sure. Do you execute or do you not? We execute. You know we execute. But how we hedge is proprietary, right? So we execute, but we hedge, or we deal with company risk ourselves. The difference between A and B book is not so simple, right? A book and B book is, do you send all your orders to the market, or do you warehouse all your orders?
Warehouse it. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You can still send all your orders to the market whilst kind of warehousing your risk by trading opposite, lowering the risk by trading partially opposite. You can find what is called sophisticated flow and you can follow it. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can manage volume if you have volume. The most important thing as a company is that you have volume, and that, we had meetings this week, remember, about this particular issue with some very, very high level people where volume is king.
So it's crucial.
For us with execution, the most important thing is that you're providing us with volume, reasonable volume, obviously, not ludicrous volume. And together we can figure out a way as a company to make it sustainable, and it is definitely not B-booking, right? That's the question that is being asked, and I'm answering it with saying that B-booking is the least efficient way to make money out of your order flow. It is.
And then what happens? Sorry, Josh, to cut you off there. If you're B-booking everything, right, then you get into these like nitty-gritty things, and you come up with excuses, so to speak, of not paying people out. Like, I am so happy to see when people make money, and then obviously on the other side, people lose money as well. And that's where the proprietary software and application and AI algorithms comes in and kind of sort of manages over risk, right? So again, Scott, are you guys taking the other side of my trade? It's done on accounts, so we and we pool the accounts together and see who's doing good and who's doing bad, and the algorithm and this and that decides and it's ever changing as well. It's not like as simple as we're gonna do your account or not.
Sorry, go ahead. Add some more clarity to that, right? So let's say that you are a trader in our book and you're trading reasonable size, right? Let's say you're trading 5 lots on a 100K account, 5 lots of Euro USD. We'll execute your trade, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to go on the other side of the trade with our margin as well, right? That's proprietary dealing. It's based on statistics, and the idea of what we do in terms of dealing is to make the company as sustainable as possible. One of the points, just to give you some insight into meetings that we have, because as I've mentioned publicly and on the stream and everything like that, is that we're always shopping our volume. We're always trying to get more out of our volume. We had meetings, and the best example of when someone says, why don't you warehouse your volume, is this, right? Someone comes to us and they say, I'm going to do an evaluation. It's going to cost me, it's $98 for 10K, is that right?
Something along those lines, yeah.
Right, so it's going to cost me $98, right? I'm going to do the evaluation and I'm going to pass, you get to live, right? The total upside for our company, if we were to B-book, is $98. That's the only thing we can earn from you. And that's if you lose. The downside for us, if we were to do that, and you make money, is unlimited. You could make 10%, which is $1,000. So we just risked the reward of $98 for a risk of $1,000, right? We risk $1,000 for a 98. Anyone who trades knows that that's a bad R&R. So it makes no sense to warehouse everything unless the game is fixed, right? Like if you were to fix the game, then maybe that was worthwhile. But to us, it's like mathematically stupid. I think that kind of answers the question. I know I get very passionate about
and
that.
I also like Rick's explanation. I'll go decide it whether you suck or not. and fades your trades. Yeah, well, pretty much. It also, yeah, I won't go in details there, but yeah, that's a good one.
Scott asked as well, are you guys taking the other side of my trade? Well, I don't know because I don't know your account number, so I can't answer that question. And there's a possibility that a few of your trades we did, and there's a possibility that a few of your trades we were bigger on. So I hope
Yeah,
I hope that answers it. It's the way that you should look at it. Like, we're not a broker, obviously, but the way that you should look at it from a liquidity perspective is that our outlook, we don't trade like looking at a chart and saying, oh, I think gold's going to go up, so anyone who's selling, I'm going to go against them. It's more along the lines of, if you have 3,500 traders and at whatever point it is they're down a certain amount, you might want to hedge that so that you sort of lock that in and go the other way, or whatever. Like, you manage it based on the collective and not the individual.
yep, yep. It's the bigger picture that we look at, not we don't micromanage accounts per se.
Right. So
All right.
there's another question attached to this, just to explain. There's a guy Calvin, he asks, how much volume do we have? Depends on the month and the products, but you could say we're approaching 10 yards of volume, which is 10 billion notional. Just to answer that question as part of the equation, right?
All right, all right. This is actually a lot of fun, chatting and being up close and personal with the community.
Yeah.
Pizza party ends today. Thank you, everyone who participated. How's that going, Josh?
So we had a lot of people participate, and for those who do still want to participate, there's a few hours left, at least Eastern, right? So it's 13th of August still, Friday the 13th here in the States. So you probably have 5 hours left to submit them. If you do participate today and tag us and everything like that, first check the blog for the instructions. Go to myforexfunds.com/blog. Check the pizza party one, do the rules. We will pay $10 towards your pizza as well. I think there are 20 spots left, so we had like 80 odd participants in it. We're now collecting all of the participation. We're going to put it all together. We're going to make a nice video slideshow sort of thing. And I do plan on having a Zoom live stream with the staff who will be voting on who is the winner.
Nice.
So I'm not sure which day that's going to be, but we will definitely announce it. There've been a lot of very interesting pizza things. Someone actually was riding a horse eating pizza. The only critique that I had, I'm not a voter in this thing. Our support staff are going to be the ones who have the fun with voting who wins. The only critique I have for that person was that the camera was a little bit far away, right? So you can kind of see the pizza and he's riding a horse, but it wasn't in depth. But there was also some very interesting pizzas around the world. It's good to see that Pizza Hut is different in every country. But yeah, it was great. Like we plan on doing a whole bunch of other promotions like this. Personally, I am a guy who likes French fries, so maybe we'll go down that road, but we don't want to make everyone fat in the process. We'll find something. We'll find something, right? We'll find something. Maybe with someone's, we'll do some sort of flag promotion or something like that to highlight the fact that everyone is from everywhere. And we love that, right? We want to see your country too.
That's not a bad idea.
But we'll think of it. We'll post it up. We want to do heaps of these things because we can provide free evaluations to anyone who participates if they do a good job, right? We offer prizes and stuff like that. So we do plan to ramp up our promotions on social media that are more interactive and not so much around purchases and stuff like that, for the fun of it, right?
For the fun of it, for sure. For sure. Josh, do you like pineapple on your pizza by any chance?
You want to get me killed?
What do you mean, man?
Do you want to get me killed? Do you want to get me killed? That's a political argument, and I'm in New Jersey and New York. That's where the mafia is, man. I'm gonna get killed.
Okay.
I do like pineapple on pizza. I had a bunch of pizzas this month. Most of them were cauliflower pizzas because I try to be healthy. But yeah, I do enjoy a Hawaiian pizza. Yes.
Very nice, very nice.
Even though
Scott is coming up with some.
Sorry, go ahead. Even though a Greek invented it.
Got it. Yeah, pineapple does go on pizza. I like Miss Heinz. Thank you. Scott is saying poutine. So yeah, fries and poutine, man. I'm kind of sort of getting hungry. Yeah.
One of my best friends here in the States is from Quebec.
Okay.
And he likes a good poutine. I don't know really what it is. You know, to be fair, I've only been in North America for a year, and I believe it's a Canadian French thing, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
So when I go up snowboarding up north, maybe I'll have to check it out, because me and fries, we're just the best of friends.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, let's move on. Merchandise store, trading, logo, golf shirts, coffee mugs. Someday would be cool for sure. That's coming up shortly, actually. Let's go a little further. Okay. So, as a trader, I always used to wonder, hey, what are my friends trading? What are my peers trading? So this is a very high level, view of what is being traded with us on our live accounts mostly. So most popular pairs are right there. Gold is 1/3 almost of all trading that occurs. US 30 is another very big chunk. What I find out, what I see, and Josh, you can correct me, is like there's certain people that do a lot of these things, which make up majority of the percentage here. But then again, it is what it is. Nas 100 is there, Dow Jones, and then the others 43%. You can talk a little bit more if you want.
So I know what you're talking about. When you say the majority is from a single person, and I think that everyone in Discord knows what you're talking about, because I have highlighted this thing, right? And when I provided you these statistics, I excluded that particular trader from the statistics, because otherwise US 30 and NASDAQ would have been number one equally, or at least approximately equally in that equation. These statistics that I gave you were based on individuals who trade them.
Okay, got it.
Not the volume itself, right? So the most popular product is gold, without a doubt. When gold fell on Sunday morning, my life was hell, because half of our database had trades in gold.
Ouch.
Whether they're profitable or not in that scenario, they still were like, what the hell happened, right? And then the day-to-day traders, they're trading the indices for volatility. Obviously, they move a lot, so there's more money to be made or lost from those pairs. FX, like GBP, JPY is up there close to NASDAQ. So is Euro NZD. Euro AUD is up there too. There's a whole bunch of pairs, but with FX in our database, it's pretty balanced. Actually, the odd thing is that probably one of the least traded pairs from the sort of major crosses is Euro USD.
Really?
Personally, I know why, because it doesn't move. I tried to trade FX on the stream, and I was sitting there forever waiting for it to move. So I understand at least during New York hours, that it's a bit of a slow moving market in general. So the pairs that are most popular, the obvious reason is because they move and they move a lot, and there's more money to be made or lost in those pairs.
Cool. Fair enough.
For FX, it's kind of the same equation, but you're looking at GBP, JPY, Euro, NZD, Euro, AUD, GBP, AUD, which are all pretty volatile FX pairs in comparison to the majors. But the strategies, for example, are very, very different between the FX and the gold, and it's no comparison really. It's very, 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 very different.
Got it. Isn't there some sort of reverse correlation between gold and some FX pairs?
It depends. So that's a good question, and my technical mind wants to go into real deep detail with it, but I will just say that right now, given the focus of the markets, is not so much on the correlations, it's more on the fear greed element. Okay. That is not true, but when markets are functioning normally and all the countries are happy and there's no COVID and all that sort of thing, yeah, like AUD is directly correlated with the gold price, for example, because a large portion of the market is gold shares, right? So there are correlations there, but right now it's kind of a fear greed sentiment where people are paying attention to if things are bad or things are good.
Fair enough. Okay, sounds good. So behind the scenes, some numbers. So I guess, Josh, these are some questions that you have been getting over the time, as far as how our traders are doing in different phases, and where we stand as far as profits are concerned. Let's make it quick. I know there's a lot of writing on that page, so you can just highlight some of the major points. And I'm just waiting for the screen to change on the stream. So just give it a minute or two.
It'll change. You don't have to worry about that. It'll catch up.
Okay.
How many people passed phase one? Now, this is from my beloved, loyal streaming folks who make fun of me all day, but I enjoy it. We did some numbers after asking it, because I kind of answered properly in the stream, but was slightly off, right? So approximately 21 to 6% pass rate on phase one. It depends on the market. Now, to give you the reason for that, market ranges, more people pass, market trends, less people pass. The reason for that is that people who don't have stop losses pass in a range market because the market will eventually go in their favor, right? So some months or weeks or days, people will pass because the market is ranging, and when the market trends and goes heavy in one direction, there are more losers in this case. And I don't mean the people are losers, I mean that they've lost, they failed, they count. It's pretty similar to broker statistics as well. When most brokers, for example, were having financial issues, it was because we were in a 2-year range and there was a B-book or some sort of warehousing of trades, and the market didn't break out. And when the brokers kind of wait for the breakout to happen in order for the traders to lose the money, because that's generally how it works statistically. Obviously, there are exceptions. How many people pass phase two? Again, subject to market conditions. Maybe it's ranging when you pass phase one, but when you hit phase two, it trends and you fail. But the pass rate on phase two is slightly higher. It's a 23 to 7% pass rate. I think the 7% is less likely to happen than the 6% in phase one, but it is somewhere around there. The 23% is a little bit more common, but still, again, it's subject to the market conditions. And, that's just statistics, right? How many people make it to the first month profit share? 40%. 40%. And The next statement on that thing is like I have been preaching. I should be some sort of Forex church sermon guy preaching away. The reason that happens, that only 40% get paid from the live account, is because even the profitable guys in live don't have stop losses. So they make a killing when it ranges, and the day that it trends, they get absolutely obliterated, and it's depressing. It is sad. It is very sad for me, because I'll wake up one morning, I'm looking at the server, and I'm like, oh, cool, we're going to have, $500,000 in payouts this month. Yeah, great. And then it's completely destroyed the next day because the market broke out. Please, please, please have a stop loss. Even if the stop loss is at 4.5% of your daily, please do it, because the next day it might range again. Give yourself a chance. No stop loss is the number one reason why people in live accounts fail their live account. Even if your stop loss is wide and it's like only an emergency sort of situation, please have a stop loss. Just please, 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 please do it. That's the only reason that statistic is that bad. That's the only reason. And the same for accelerated, folks. If you're trading an accelerated account, have an emergency stop in place. You don't have to obey your stop in terms of, closing your loss out. You can close it out early, but have something there. Because when the market moves, it will move and it will take you out. And we don't reinstate people who hypothetically could make profit the next day. You have to be in a position to make profit the next day.
Right. And I loved how you said, please have a stop loss at least 10 times, this kind of goes to show that we actually care about you guys, and I've seen Josh actually yell at traders, yell as in be very firm with them and telling them, hey guys, please get your act together. It is something serious, guys. You guys are putting in your time, effort. A lot goes in this. So when we see people come in and put 10 lots and 100 lots without an SL, without a stop loss, that's just disheartening, right? You should really, and if that's something that you think you're going to keep on doing, maybe trading isn't for you. Because, one day, as Josh said, you'll make a killing, but the next day or the day after, you're going to lose it all. So again, even from me, please have a stop loss. And when you lose it all, the company gets hit too, right? So when you're losing your live accounts and this and that, there is a big risk factor on the company's capital as well. We do have risk mitigation techniques there to save us, but we do get a hit. So please, 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 don't be a cowboy. Don't do the YOLO style of trading that, a lot of us do. I used to do that too, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it if you're serious about trading for long term.
My perspective is, and you agree with this, I'm fairly sure, I think we're pretty connected on this matter, is that it's a long-term game, right? Like, if you're gonna last trading, you better have a stop loss, even if it's emergency. Like, I think I really hate talking about myself, but I'm gonna talk about myself. I was down more. I was down 6% 2 days ago streaming, right? I was down 6% and everyone was laughing at me, and I'm like, it's just about staying in the game. Stop loss gets hit. One of my stop losses got hit in less than a minute on live stream. But I'm still in the game. And then it took one day and I'm all the way back up close to break even. I'm ready to go. And everyone should think about that as well. That's not to promote myself. That's to promote the fact that you have to stay in the game in order to survive it. And if you can get past phase 1 and you can get past phase 2 and you're live, you make sure you can stay in the game, because so long as you're live and you're in the game, you have a chance to make money.
I would actually go as far as putting a sticky note on my thing. Stay in the game. Use a stop loss. And if you're not a sticky note person, get a tattoo on your forearm. Stay in the game.
I
All right,
think
guys.
I think Yavuz is drunk. He thinks I was down 8%. Don't lie to me, Yavuz. Don't lie to me. I was not down 8%. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll look into that. And guys, if Josh isn't around in the next week or two, you know what happened. Oh, sorry. Uh, let's go to the next page. Successful traders, what are they doing? Uh, except for riding Audis and cows and looking spiffy. What do they do?
I would argue that I could answer what three of them are doing.
Okay, what are they doing? Using stop losses?
Well, that's one of them. I think so. This comes into a deeper subject, right? So a lot of you guys are probably what they call smart money traders, which smart money concept traders or whatever, where you're trading with like 3 pip stop losses and stuff. And there are a lot of them in our database, and I appreciate the fact that your stop losses are there. Like, that's great. But the one habit that I see all of these smart money traders doing is overtrading. They trade too much, too many pairs, the whole market essentially. And you can be wrong 30 times a day if you're chasing a 1 to 30 risk reward ratio. But if you're chasing a 1 to 15, you can't be wrong 30 times a day. So focus on your pairs. Most of these guys, actually all of them, even the one that lost his account in the end, they all traded 1 or 2 pairs or 3 pairs, right? And they traded it like once or twice a day, maybe 3 times. The first image, I'm not hugely familiar with his trading, but I do know that he's successful. But the number of pairs and the number of trades is very important. I know from my side is that I have a few, like my pairs are Dow, Euro, JPY. That's it. If you ask me what the pound Aussie is going to do, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. And even if I draw up the chart, I don't know how it behaves. I don't know what its pip values are. I don't know anything really. Like, okay, I do sort of know a little bit about it, but not from a trading perspective. So my recommendation for people, based on what our profitable guys do, is specialize in your pairs that are your favorites or whatever. Learn them. Have your risk management in place. Don't overtrade. And if your mind is not there, take the day off.
Take the day off, or even a week. So we have came up with some good additions to our programs, right? So if you're almost there but not there in your evaluation, we are giving you extensions now. We're not asking you to start from the beginning. As long as you're profitable, we see that you can make it. We give you extensions. Use that wisely. Stay in the game. Another thing that we do differently is, you can talk to us. Let us know, hey, we're there 24/5, 25/6, 24/6. Let us know if something's coming up. Let us know. We'll keep that under account. We'll take that under account, and we'll give you the leeway. Life happens. As simple as that. So if your mind isn't there, don't trade just for the sake of trading. I think that's another area where people lose a lot, or lose the challenges or evaluations.
I have a really good example of that, actually. So there was a guy who contacted us today, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm down, whatever he's down, I think he's down like 3% or something, like nothing major. He says, I want to take 2 weeks off. Can you freeze my evaluation?
Yeah.
And the first thing I said was, of course.
Amazing.
There's no question about that. If you're coming to me saying my psychology is not there, I need to freeze it, we'll freeze it. There's no problem for us. We're not going to say, oh no, you have to do it. We're not going to push you into a loss. That's silly. We want you to succeed. So if for some reason you can't continue to trade, we've had a bunch of cases of COVID as well where people are sick, and we say, sure, no problem. When you're done, come back to us. We'll sort you out. So we don't have any issues with that. So I think people should also be honest with themselves too, and then come be honest to us, and we will make sure that you're accommodated.
Of course. And one last thing is that I see all these fine gentlemen, but I don't see any, female traders up here. And I only see one in our, or maybe more, but Akia Hines. Let's make sure that you're on that list next time we showcase that. We want more female traders.
I think there are 2 accelerated accounts that we're trying to contact that are female.
Awesome. That's good.
I think so. I have to look at it, but I think so. There are definitely successful female traders in our database. Maybe they're just a little bit less showy. They're not all about the Lambos. Maybe that's the one.
Perhaps. How long can we freeze? Well, you can freeze for us.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not going anywhere. Hopefully you aren't either. So yeah, take as long as you want. Obviously, don't say 10 years or 20 years because that doesn't make sense. But yeah, take as much time as you want, and we'll be here when you come back.
Yeah.
Just
be honest about it.
Be honest about it. Yep, definitely. Just reading some of the questions. How are we gonna do Q&A?
So I do have. Yavuz sent me a few. Yavuz, do you have any more that you want to send me? Anthony Carland asked how many current live traders with a profitable long term. That's a more complex question actually than how many live traders we have. How many live traders are profitable long term? What's long term? For example's sake, I'm going to say 3 months. Let's say that. I mean, we haven't been around so long, so let's say 3 months.
There are traders, especially, I personally know one. I don't think he has any violations, and he has been trading since the start of my Forex Funds.
But that would be a rapid account.
That was a rapid account, and he still has not a single violation, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that brings up Tharindo, right? He's the guy.
And Tharindo is another one, definitely.
He's there. Anurag, there are some 6 months at least we don't know because I don't think the evaluation's 6 months old because I joined when evaluation started and I haven't been at the company 6 months yet. I think next month's my 6 months. So 3 months would be the best example for us, right? I would say that it is a low percentage if you consider just having the same account. So a lot of the live traders, they'll make money, they'll get paid, and then maybe the next month they lose their account, but then they come back in through the system again and end up live again and get another payout. And it's kind of like a rinse and repeat thing. But in terms of the same account all the time, there's definitely a few accelerated. Someone asked as well in the chat, what's the highest accelerated account? There was a guy who's at 190K on his 6th scale up. We're scaling someone to their 5th today who started at 2 and is now at 12, I think. There are multiple accelerated accounts that you could say are consistent and are scaling, but a lot of them started very low, so they're not huge values yet. Tharindo has been with us more than 6 months, so.
And it's amazing to see some of these, like Tharindo, for example, right? It's amazing to see the control this guy has over trading and his psychology. He knows what he's trading, and he has bad patches as well. But as you said, Josh, right? It's all about surviving, and he survives those, and then the next week or the next couple of weeks, he just blasts through the roof. So yeah, stay in the game, preserve your account, preserve your capital. I think Kelvin or someone said that preservation is key in this game. So
not
Yeah, go ahead.
not to throw Thorindo under the bus, but he has a live evaluation account now that he's up 10% on. just,
Nice.
just just to throw that one in there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. No, we like Turindo. We like Turindo a lot.
Yeah. So then we have Scott's question, which we answered. There was a question just now by Gionhard, which I kind of threw the company under the bus for.
Okay.
So the question of accelerated, like the first question was, can we issue coupons for accelerated, right? And so I went into a rant about how mathematically we can't.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense, right? But I did say, based on some internal conversations that we have had about potentially increasing the profit share after a certain scaling, like scaling 7 or 10 times, we would then consider increasing profit share. Now, again, that was my free-flowing thought, and I know I'm throwing you under the bus here. So let's talk accelerated.
Sure.
When we first launched accelerated, we got a bit of pushback to start with. Both of us know that accelerated is now one of our most popular accounts, and we pay out at least 60% of our payouts to accelerated. Correct?
Sure. Yep. Yep, I would say so.
Right. So,
Sure.
what more can we do for accelerated? Can we consider that sometime in the future, at least in the near term future, that we will look at if someone scales a certain number of times, we will increase their payout? Or maybe if you reach your fifth payout, fifth scaling, we'll give you back your original fee? Or is there something we can do there?
It's actually a good time to bring this up. So I have been thinking about, so it's been a year. So we were thinking about coming up with a traders edition, so for the traders, from the traders. So yeah, some of these things can definitely be implemented, such as having higher payouts. Again, I want to make money, but I want you, the trader, to make money as well, right? So sure, if you can prove that you're scaling up 5, 6, 7 times, then you are doing something that we want you to continue doing. So if it encourages you to get more payout, so be it. Another one being you'll get your initial sign up fees back as well. So yeah, those are some things that we can definitely discuss. They're definitely on the table. What I want is forecast as well as data from past. So once we have all these things together, we put them in our mumbo jumbo machine. It spits out, yes, it's viable, it's not viable. We can definitely go down that route as well.
Right. So one of my immediate thoughts, and I haven't told you this, so I know, we're being very, very open about it, and I was open to the stream about it too, right? So there was someone who asked about the weekend trading, right?
Okay.
And I explained to it, and for this video's purpose, I'm going to explain it again, right? So when traders hold trades over the weekend on live accounts, obviously, we have to provide weekend margin. So what it costs us at liquidity, like in terms of how much money we have to put at liquidity during the week, is about 10 times less than we would have to do over the weekend, right? The reason we don't do it, we don't allow weekend trading on accelerated, is because if we were to put 10 times margin at liquidity, it's 10 is like an example number. I'm not specifically sure on how much it is, but it's somewhere around, it's a lot more anyway. Then it would interfere with things like billing related inquiries and payouts, right? However, if you have scaled up 5 or 6 times and you contact us and you say, hey, I would like to hold over the weekend, and I look at your trading, or Matuza looks at your trading, or whatever, and your trading is like low volume but calm and reliable, we might say to you, okay, you can hold over the weekend. I have done this in one case. And you know the person because the person has come up today in certain conversations. They're also from Canada, where their trading is so small and reliable, there is no reason for us to have any problem with their weekend trading, right? Where I'm going with this is that if you are with us for a long time and you communicate with us, we can be a little bit flexible. Right.
I think that's what sets us apart, right? So we are listening. You go to other firms and you talk to them and they say, unfortunately, we can't do this because these are the rules. But hey, we are here. We're going to listen to you. Josh is going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to you. Yavu's all we'll listen to your inquiry. And if it's possible, if it's feasible, we'll do it. As simple as that.
And I spend my day checking these things, just to be clear.
Yep.
There is what has been spammed to me, an important question from Rich Martinez.
Okay.
The odds are deeply against us after running all the numbers. How do we overcome this? Why don't you offer education if being profitable is in both of our interests? I can sort of answer that because I think this is in what might be my responsibilities, correct? We will offer education. The one thing we have to mitigate is legal liability if you don't execute what you've learned accurately. So one of the hesitations with education is that you are teaching someone to trade and that person may fail. If that person fails, they're going to blame you, right? Even if they don't execute it perfectly. So what I am considering and we're looking at doing, and I had a very long conversation today with Yavuz specifically about this, is giving away free what would you call it? I guess you'd say it's education, but it's like little 101 type education, right? Based on the feedback of my stream and what works, what doesn't, so on and so forth. It'll be free on our YouTube channel. We will not take any liability for that, ever, right? If you trade and you say, oh, I drew my zone like you told me to draw my zone, I will say, well, maybe you should have had a stop loss, or maybe your volume was too high because you shouldn't break your rules if you're really obeying it, right? We don't want to have any liability to it, but there are other things that we're in the works for that I can't spill the beans on so much, but we're talking about like structures and other things around prop that would sort of change the market specifically, because if you look at the market right as it is right now, there are kind of like three models and we have all three of them. We have the rapid, the evaluation, and the accelerated, which is a direct funding model. We have the three, but what we're looking for is more of a long-term, do as we say, be profitable, don't risk the whole bank type of model in the future, which takes a lot of calculation and stuff. We haven't got there yet. So education might be a part of that.
For sure. And again, when it comes to education, right, Josh, I believe we can only teach so much. The psychology is the single most biggest factor in a trader being successful or not, right? So controlling your emotions, having stop losses, risk management, I think those things, it can be taught obviously, but teaching like I was taught calculus, I was taught, microbiology. Do I remember everything? Things that you practice over time kind of sort of sticks with you. And these things are basic enough that you can teach yourself those things. Having a mentor obviously is an amazing thing, so that he can yell at you or she can yell at you and keep you in line. But these are some things that a person can teach themselves, not only teach, but practice over and over and over again to the point where it's your second nature, right? You're not risking more than 2% or 1%. You're always having a stop loss. If you have these things, you're built for the game.
Right. And the other thing is kind of like, you have to also take accountability for your own actions, right? And that's kind of part of it. Like, it's kind of a little bit unfair for me to say that because, for example, I learned trading in a prop firm for futures, and although the actual process of getting in was enough to want to hurt yourself, I got in and I learned, I wouldn't say for free because I wasn't able to have a job at the same time, but I learned on a what they call a sim account, and that gave me my base for it. So when it comes to knowledge, I got it from that. Other people can definitely learn themselves and take accountability for it. So it is one of the things we struggle with in support too, is like someone I guess breaks their own rules, loses their account, and then for some reason it becomes our chat person's fault. You know, you got to take accountability and learn from your mistakes, and then from there you become a better trader or person even. We have some questions that are being sent to me on Telegram. Stake129F says, you are a Canadian company. Yes. Can Canadian traders apply GST, HST required to remit to CRA on payouts? If not, they take an immediate 13% haircut. Specific question. Should I message someone on this? Now, you're Canadian. I'm not. Does that make sense to you? Is there something we can do? I
mean, you're a contractor with us. So again, stake 129F, right? So you're a contractor, we're paying you based on that contract. So whatever we are paying you, if you're using, again, this is not a legal advice. I'm not asking you to file your taxes this way. This is just friendly advice. Check with your tax person, right? But we're paying you a certain amount, right? You have deductibles. You can, if you're sitting in an office or if you have laptops and internet and phone, blah blah blah, you can deduct all those costs from this amount. If this is, if you're using, say, internet to trade, obviously that's an expense. So we will not be able to cut taxes for you, or if you were our employee, we would cut your taxes up front and give you the remaining. But with the contracts and the way this relationship works is in such a way that you are responsible for your own taxes. And yes, you would be paying if you're filing taxes, you would be paying. And that doesn't really apply to only Canadian companies, that applies to all companies. So even if you're trading for a prop firm outside and they're paying you, the income that you're generating would still be eligible for some sort of taxes, as long as you're a permanent resident or living in Canada.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of how I work too, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. And one question that, I would like to take is, do you have plans to remove minimum trading days? So guys, I think we discussed this the last time we were on as well. There are other companies that have said, hey, guys, come trade for us. If you pass with the first trade, you get your account again. That kind of sort of goes back to the whole psychology of being patient, right? If you do that, I would say 90% of the time someone will fail and they'll keep on buying and buying and buying. So those companies are actually benefiting from you. How we see it as that we kind of sort of push you or impose on you patience, or, if you can do it in one day, you're hopefully more than likely you won't try to do it in one day. If I tell you, hey, you're eligible to get a 100K account in 2 days, you're going to go for it. And more often than not, actually a lot more often than not, you will fail. So keeping that in mind, and obviously keeping the administrative workload in mind, we will not be taking that out. at least in the given future. I hope that answers your question. Josh, do you want to add something on top of that?
That's correct. I mean, the number of times people pass on the first day and then fail the next day is very high. So, yeah, there's no reason. We did a study as well on the difference between having the 10 days and having just one day. It proved that it affected people's psychology as well, so they're more likely to take more risk on the first day if they don't have 10 days.
Exactly.
And that included people who had passed. So it doesn't make sense to us. And we understand why the question is asked, and we understand why people want it, but it's not really for us. It doesn't really fit into our vibe, right?
Yeah, and Kia just kind of sort of admitted to that, and I appreciate you saying that. I'll admit it, I was one of those impatient people that kept failing and kept buying. And hey, if I was in your shoes, I'll probably do the same. I'll do it this time. I'll do it this time. If you have 10 days, kind of sort of guideline, then you don't rush into things, right? And it's not like buy it now and get it over with. It's more like you have 10 days, think about what you want to do at a minimum, obviously. Max you can take, pretty much, right? So yeah.
There's a question I want to take because it's from a person who's very familiar to me, Mr. Virender Basnet.
Yeah.
And I know why he's asking this question. And I will applaud him. Congratulations. He's asking how much is the biggest payout till date. And I believe it's in the 20,000s.
I believe so as well.
I believe it's in the 20,000s. There are this month, potentially, if the traders don't lose their money, there are this month probably 4 that are bigger than that.
Okay. We're in their base net. Okay. I just have my thing open. So there is another we're in their best net. It's possibly the same person. So we're in there. If you keep on doing what you're doing right now, you're definitely gonna be one of the highest. And I'll probably personally come there and hug you because you're doing so good for yourself and so good for the company as well. So keep that up.
Another question from Aidan Kirchmere. I'm near your corporate office in the GTA region of Ontario. Will you ever open up office space to traders nearby?
That's one of my dreams. To be honest with you, at least have something in Europe, something in Asia, and something in North America. So where, I can sit down and then have a bunch of people, just coming in, trading, talking, socializing, networking, discussing ideas. So that is an idea that we will pursue heavily soon. You will be more than welcome to come join us in Wuhan. That's where we're at right now. But currently, because of COVID and everything, keeps on, I don't know what the rules are anymore, to be frank, right? That is something that we'll definitely work towards.
Right. And to add to that, I have floated the idea potentially of having also one in Europe lately because I kind of want to move to one of my homes. But we're going to be everywhere anyway, so pick a destination. We're looking to be there.
Yeah, the idea that Josh has is a beach, or what did you say? It was
a summer trading room.
Summer trading room, yeah. Only shorts and t-shirts allowed, sandals, and that's it. You come in, you
that's more than my underwear when I work normally, right?
That's TMI, man. TMI.
You work from home life.
Work from home life, true say. All right. What else?
Thomas Fisola says, do you profit from all kinds of trading style? Is there any practice that you don't like in your traders? That's kind of a loaded question. Any practice we don't like in our traders? I think the practice we don't like the most, surprisingly, is not the no stop loss thing because we can kind of manage that. The thing we don't like the most is the size. If someone thinks that they're bigger than a bank and uses leverage in order to be bigger,
over leveraging would be, yeah, definitely. over leveraging. And yeah.
The reason for that is it is very, very hard to find a liquidity provider who will long term accept that size. So if someone is just, if you have a 200K account, which is our biggest single value, we have accounts that are bigger than that because they've merged, and you want to trade such huge size, then a liquidity provider at some point is going to say, okay, you've sent me so much size, I don't want any more, right? Because it's hard to manage. Most people who trade that size, they last a few days, maybe a few days, maybe a few days. We don't really make money from it. We don't lose too much from it, but we really don't really make anything from it. It's kind of useless order flow. I highlighted our gambler in Discord, Murtuza. I don't think you saw that.
And no, I haven't seen that. No.
I did it in an impulsive way, and I took a screenshot of the open trade statement of, I did two things. One was the open trades, and the second was the total volume traded in one day. And one day was like 11,000 lots.
Nice. Very nice.
Right? And in order for me, as the server liquidity operator, to handle that, I have to stay out. Like the other morning, if you recall, and some people on my stream will recall, I rarely slept, right? I slept like 2 hours because I was waiting for those trades. It is problematic. We stick to our contractual obligations as a company. We deal with it and we manage it, but it's not really trading. It's kind of gambling. I mean, we don't particularly want that. But as I said, as a company, if you've passed the phases, we owe you a live account unless you're cheating. We will oblige, but please, don't do that. That's silly. We actually did an action, right, with this particular person, or haven't we done it yet? I don't know.
I'll look into that. Yeah. Let's take some more questions, and then we'll probably call it a day. My wife's calling, saying, "Where are you?"
I see some misogyny in the chat. You guys can keep that to yourselves. It's not something to be in public. Let's see. Better spreads in minimum SL to 1. Okay, so let's bring that up. People are talking about the stop distance, not the stop loss, the stop distance. And as I've explained to you as well, this is to prevent cheaters. You know what I'm talking about, right? The distance from price that you can put in order.
Yes.
So I've explained this before. I will explain it again. The reason that we have a 2 pip minimum distance from current price for stops and stop losses is to prevent cheating people who take advantage of the speed of MetaTrader. So MetaTrader 4 itself is quite a slow platform, and there is a disconnect between the bridge for liquidity and the platform itself, where if someone wants to take advantage, if you have a stop distance of 0, they can execute on old prices, which means that we immediately lose money from their trade, right? So what we do is we set it at 2 pips, because if it's at 2 pips, we can handle any order flow that's attached to it. And secondly, we don't have to deal with the fact that when someone does this, we say to them, we're not paying them. And then they go public and say, these guys don't pay us, even though they're cheating.
And Josh, just on that note, right? What do you think about these magic spreads that some of these, companies are giving? I see some of these people coming in and, hey, we have close to 0 spread. How come you guys are, how come you guys have more realistic spreads, and how come you guys can't do that? What's the logic, or what's the, why are we charging more? Or that, I'm obviously playing at devil's advocate here, but What's happening there with magic spreads? Let's just call it that for lack of a better word.
So it's the spreads themselves. I know where you're asking this. The spreads themselves aren't. Some of the spreads are magic, but most of them are prime time realistic, kind of. The issue is that there's no commission charge,
Okay.
right? So if for example I go and I get a price for EURUSD in whichever manner I get it, whether it's from one provider or multiple providers, one on the sell, one on the buy side, or otherwise, they're still going to charge me to execute. So the spread institutionally at an actual executable volume is somewhere for EURUSD is somewhere between 0.1 and 0.3.
Got it.
Institutionally, the spread is that. Plus, they will charge you to execute the trade. So in our case, for example, we charge $3 per lot, which is quite low by industry standards if you're comparing us to brokers. At liquidity, sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's cheaper, sometimes it's way cheaper, sometimes it's a little bit more expensive, but overall $3 per lot covers that. You know, we're safe with that figure. If someone is offering you the spread of institutions without any commission attached, every single trade they're taking a loss, and that is ridiculous. That's my perspective of it as a liquidity professional. The other difference I think that you could highlight is that our liquidity comes with a 10 million per click minimum, right? That means that the buy and the sell side at any time has $10 million executable at that time. Does that mean you can execute $10 million? No, because someone might beat you to that price. But it is still available at any time. So one of the arguments maybe from a broker compared to us who has a zero spread, for example, is that the top of the order book for them will be $1,000 of volume, right? So 0.01 lot in order to make the spread thinner. And when you execute, you get a worse price, a small slippage, and you could call it a micro slippage or whatever you want to call it, but you will end up getting the real price in the end.
Got it.
And that's just the way it is. I'm not here to talk about other companies specifically. I just these are the facts.
These are the facts. Yeah.
These are the facts, and as you know, we're actually working with others as well now in order to perhaps lower a little bit. Like there's not much there to lower, but lower a little bit, at least on some pairs, the spread. But yeah, there's if someone has zero spread, zero commission, that's not the market. That's just all I can say.
Got it. Got it. There's a very interesting thing that keeps on coming up on the chat. Free evaluation, pay only after pass. That is certainly doable, but the evaluation would probably be between 3 to 6 months. And if trade, and that's how the actual prop firms work as well. And me and Josh were thinking about instituting such models as well. If you can commit to us, if you don't want to put down your cash, if you're committing your time, your effort, then we can look into it, and we'll teach you. And Josh, you had certain ideas around that as well, right?
One thing that is important for a prop firm is volume, right? If we have volume, and we're getting there right now, we're not there yet, but we're on the way there now to a volume where we can do things enough in order to be sustainable without any new business, then we can probably do some sort of either really discounted or free evaluation, right? I don't see a point in someone going through 6 months of demo account and then charging them. I know where that model comes from, where you do the evaluation first and then you get charged. I think that's stupid. Why would you charge someone who passes? Why wouldn't
Exactly.
why wouldn't you charge someone who wastes your time? Like,
But sorry, on that note, Josh, right? So we do give your money back as well. So if you think you
right.
can pass, right, and we actually give you a little bit more. Plus, we pay you for your time while evaluation. I think we are still the only one who's doing that. So, a lot of facts here that make sure that we are still number one.
Right. And obviously, all of us, I think I can speak for all the staff, including yourself, is like if we got more insular as a business, we'd be a lot happier. And if that meant not charging people and just getting people into a right trading habits and everything like that and providing us volume, we would sleep much easier at night. Right. The way it is right now is like a growth phase of the business. As I've highlighted multiple times, when I came on board, Murtuza and I were highlighting the fact that we want to change the models long term and be traditional prop firms and be self-reliant and have our community and have our trading floors and have people, every day coming to an office and meeting us and doing all that sort of thing, and not just being some online business.
Definitely.
And we're making small steps slowly in that direction. A few of them have been sort of thrown into play recently. A few will be thrown into play somewhere towards the end of the year as well. And probably by March next year, things will look very differently, I think. I think that's a safe assumption.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's not so much about having fees, it's more about getting people who trade correctly in the right risk management profile into the evaluation process and then into the live funded trading, and then getting them bigger over time.
Okay, nice. Josh, Akin says, Josh talks so calm and easy. I would like to set him. Set him? Oh, see him. Okay. Yeah, sometimes when I can't put my little ones to sleep, I play Josh's voice notes and they go right to sleep. So I see what you're saying there, Ken. It's very calm.
My stream says that I'm ASMR.
Hey, maybe I can use your streams to put them to sleep. Okay, not a bad idea. Let's see.
Can we ask for an extension in phase 2? I'm struggling. Phase 2 is already 60 days and half the target. We cannot extend that.
But if there is an emergency or, something happened or whatever, then do reach out though.
Yeah, sure. If you're sick or, your mom's sick or something like that, let us know. But obviously we would expect no trades on those days.
Murtaza, do you trade? Yes, Calvin. I used to trade. I've been quite busy. But yeah, I can click buy and sell multiple times. Let's see.
KKVV says, will you guys make the lots a standard size for indices similar to FX? Currently, indices is $1 per point instead of 10 per point. I would like to take you to school. Not to say that in a bad way.
In a good way, yeah, in a good way.
If you buy one contract of Dow and it moves $1, you make $1. So one contract is one lot, therefore our price is accurate. If it was $10 a point, it means that one lot means you're buying 10 contracts. If I offered futures, or we offered futures, sorry, I'm saying I, it's not a fact, it's we, then it would be 10 contracts as per the minimum trading size in futures. Just saying.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to set you now, Josh. So yeah, you please prepare yourself to be set.
What does that mean?
Again, I think he mistyped C to set, and now that has become a catchphrase. We would like to set you. When would there be a dashboard overhaul? We need more details on winning pairs, losing time, win rate. We need more details on how you're performing. Hey, that's a very valid question and a request. We are actually already having our wireframes done on that front. So what that means is that we're, seeing what's out there, who's doing what, as far as our competitors are concerned, taking what we can, and obviously redesigning, improving XYZ. So yeah, again, we're working on that. Hopefully, in the next month or so, you'll see a better and much more improved dashboard part. Um,
Veranda, I see your question again, and we've kind of answered it. It's in the 20Ks somewhere. We know that you have earned more than that at the moment, and keep it up. And I did clap last time, and I'll clap again. You won't have any problem on your payout, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, and then send us the bill, and we will pay you. No problem. C Trader, people are asking about C Trader, and I know it's taking a long time. So C Trader requires a very heavy integration in comparison to TradingView. TradingView is a good middle ground to start with. C Trader will come after everything is automated. So then we'll do it, because then we have to connect liquidity and bridges. It's actually a little bit scary to do it, but we will do it. It's just not there yet.
Okay. And Varinder, I hope that you're gonna give us a good review and interview after you get your. I'm just calling you out right now, right? So make sure that you're ready for that interview.
The other question I see is about the demos, and we've talked about that. When we do automate phase 1 and that is running smoothly, we will then provide demos, because they have to be automatic. We can't have our team making them. There's already enough nightmares. We're not doing that one. When we have the automation really smooth, then we will go ahead and do that. Then you can demo, and the only thing that we will require is that you provide some details, like contact details or something like that, and you can test out our stuff and try it, and the dashboard will be hooked up to, which our recent infrastructure upgrade will allow for that as well.
Teacher Josh, once we pass the challenge, our live account's connected to MFF's account. So Adnan Kumar, we actually give out live accounts under our name only. You're contracted to trade on those accounts. We do not get into the whole copying business of, it's just going to say demo or this and that, and we're going to copy it to our funds. None of that. You're going to get a company account that is under our name, which you're contracted to use. And, depending on the contract and the model that you're in, the profit share will be shared accordingly. Will y'all be all brokers soon?
We are already. Traders Global Group, Akia is us. That's our corporate name. That's not the point of the demo, it's the concept. I'm willing to hear more about that if you want to expand on it, Malachi. It's been an hour and 45, and as you know, I'm very that's the other question that I saw earlier. Sorry, interrupting myself. Will we add stocks in the future? Individual stocks, that means. I'm going to answer that question twofold. I can add stocks tomorrow. I can. You've just got to promise to trade volume that is applicable to the share market. So it's like a two-edged thing, right? So we have leverage, which is not applicable to the share market. And if we open up stocks, for example, of Apple or Tesla or whoever, I have a list of like 400 of them that I can add tomorrow. Then our traders will probably trade the entire market cap of those stocks in a single day using leverage. And we have to sort of mitigate that somehow. Because, for example, at any single price, there might be 10 shares available, right? And if the share is worth $30, that's $300 worth of shares. Our traders with leverage, let's say even if it's 30 to 1 instead of 100 to 1, will try and open 3,000 shares of that stock. And we have to execute that. And we execute in the market, and we'll probably get kicked off the liquidity if we did that. So I'm trying to work it out, and I'm talking to providers on how to mitigate it. But if we were to do it right now, it would be problematic.
Makes sense. Let's see. Is there another means of compensation for those that lose within evaluation challenge? Is there any other mean of compensation?
Have you noticed that that's your name?
No, I just copied someone's question because he kept on asking the same thing, so I didn't want to use it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it was Jeff. Jeff, can you just elaborate on that, my friend? What do you mean by that? We'll come back. Is there any other means of for those that? Oh, you just called Josh now. Okay.
IKEA, we don't recommend trade copiers because all of them can fail at some point. So, just pick the most popular one, I guess. A lot of people use them. We don't get any complaints about them, but we don't want to be liable for recommending something. So, find reviews and do your due diligence. I'm sure you'll find one. There's plenty of them.
All right. Ryan Lewis is asking when we get the demo, when does the 10-day start? So the 10-day starts from the first trade that you take, and no, you do not have to trade 10 consecutive days. You have 30 days plus another 2 to 4 weeks of extension after that to complete your 10 days. So, you have 30 days to do 10 days worth of trading. If you hit your target in the first or second trade, just take it easy, do mini or micro lots. And, do keep in mind that we do pay bonuses on your trading in your evaluation phases as well. We're, I think, the only company that does that. And we do that to make sure that we compensate you for your time, right? So if you're in evaluation, you're trading for 10 days, you make a little bit of money, we're going to give you a percentage of that back to you. That comes out of our pocket because that is strictly done on demo accounts.
If you pass.
If you pass, yes. If you pass, yeah, let's just put it that way.
Just putting in the legal disclaimer there. If you pass, you will get a reward.
If we almost violate live account, can we deposit out our money in one way to keep the live?
Our own money, yeah. No, because we're not a broker legally. We actually floated the idea of becoming a broker as well, but it kind of conflicts the two businesses. Yeah. So we don't want to hold your deposits. First of all, it has all sorts of legal issues attached to it. Like, we would need to hire like 30 staff just to deal with the legal issues of doing that. So
the compliance that goes behind it, yeah.
And then you guys, when you'd sign up just for an evaluation without being live yet, would have to submit documents, and it's problematic. It's, I understand where you're coming from. We just can't do it. Any possibility to increase share on accelerated account? We are exploring it after a certain number of scale-ups. Exploring it, no commitment.
Just take it easy, Heinz. Don't kill your account. Make sure you're killing the right thing.
I think we will put it down to max 5 more questions, and then we'll end the stream and go and have dinner. I think it's dinner time.
Yeah, gotta pick up some dinner.
Hungry. Yeah. If one buy an evaluation challenge and fail, will the person be compensated with anything cause his demo? No. The only thing we do, if someone fails phase 1, we do offer a discount if they want to do it again. Otherwise, we don't provide it to you. You fail. It's hard, but it's just the way it is, right? Why does it take several days to process payout? Generally, it doesn't. Sometimes it
Generally, it
does.
does.
Generally, it doesn't.
So if we get all the right amount of information and right information the first time, we'll do it within 24 hours. But if there is a back and forth, you give us a different routing number, the different PayPal address. Sometimes you guys have PayPal businesses where we cannot pay out to. So yeah, that kind of sort of delays the process. But as long as we get everything in one place, the right information is usually done within 24 hours. We do process close to 100 payouts a day now. So just to give you an idea, and that number keeps on going up every day as we keep on kind of sort of hiring more and more people.
KKVV says, asking for third time. I'm sorry, I didn't see your other time. What happens if I achieve eval profit target and continue trading because the trading days is 10, and I continue trading, a bad day, my profit comes down below the target, eval is failed. If it comes below the target, you haven't failed. If you break the rules, you've failed. If you have passed the target, exercise some patience, lower your lot size to the minimum, and make your way to the 10 days. If you continue trading at the full size, that's on you, and that is, I guess, a personality trait. It helps us identify the type of trader you're going to be. Take it easy if you pass. Take it easy. And take it easy if you pass phase 2, the same thing. I keep touching my mouse because I'm used to it being on the other computer where the chat is. Sorry. Another question. And that's the same question again. Would there be a possibility if live account is violated, could we keep the live account in other means rather than go back to evaluation phase? Hard truth, if you've failed on the live account, we've lost money, probably. Not all the time, but probably. So if you've made us lose money as a company, we're kind of not going to give you the live account back unless you pass again. If you have profit still, like if you made profit and then violated, we work in a bunch of ways where if you have obeyed risk management rules, you've passed your 10 days, everything like that, then we will compensate you. Plus, we most likely will put you back in phase 2. And if you pass phase 2, you get your live account back. We won't charge you for that. It depends on the situation. In that case, if you're in profit and you fail. If you have violated in negative, then you got to go through the process again.
Any possibility to increase profit share on accelerated accounts? So Josh has, I think, answered that 3 or 4 times. We're gonna look into it. If the numbers make sense, someone said it is a business, and it is a business, right? So if the number makes sense, if we can sustain it, we'll definitely do it.
Will Trader Global Group consider rebates? No, because our commission is so low already. Some months we're not really covering commission. It depends on our volume, and it's volume based. The way that we work is that sometimes we get more and sometimes we get less from liquidity based on our volume. So the answer is for that, no. We pay affiliate commissions out. Right now, even that's pretty generous, I think, in terms of P&L. So at the moment, rebates on volume isn't a thing for us. In the future, like way down a year from now, maybe 2 years, it might be part of the model. It depends. But right now, no. So you clearly have no target profits for whatever account model I use. Whatever profit I get, that is what we will split, right? If you're live, yes. Is there any way to increase daily drawdown to 7% daily for evaluation? Which brings up a very good topic to have our very final conversation about. I'm going to ignore everyone else's questions from this point because I'm exhausted. Daily drawdown is a hot topic. So much so that this week I have made an indicator for your charts on desktop only, not on mobile, that you can put on a chart that you don't use that will tell you your daily drawdown figure. I'm testing it, so in a week's time, if it's bug free and I'm certain that it will tell the right figure, I will send it out publicly. Increasing that figure by 2% makes absolutely no sense to us. If anything, the only thing we would consider long term, if someone has been with us for a while, is increasing overall. And even that is questionable, because if someone's long term and profitable, they won't go near it anyway. We haven't had this conversation for quite some time, Martuza. Right now, we haven't really had a daily drawdown issue of late. We had it some months ago, but not lately. Has your view changed on that at all, or?
Not really. I think I was a firm believer before, and I still am. But it's not something that's set in stone. I think it's doing great now. It gives people more room if they're profitable, and a little less room when they're not. That being said, it's not set in stone, and we can definitely make a case either way. Well, we can talk about that a little later.
Right, because I do know that in the suggestions box in Discord, that conversation comes up a lot.
Okay.
It's usually very hypothetical. It's not case based. So a lot of people like to focus on the what ifs.
Of course.
Like, a lot of people say to me, what if I'm up 15% overnight and then I go back 10%? Did I break the rules? And I always say to them, if you're up 15% and you don't take that profit, what is wrong with you? 15%, a bank kills for that for a year. What is going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you give up 10% of it. Like, come on, man, come on. But that's the hypothetical. And in practice, whilst we understand, we understand the reason for the question. In practice, I think we had it once where someone had floating and went back. I think it was one time in all the time that I have worked for the company. I think one time it actually happened. And I believe we paid that person out some of his money.
You did.
Yeah, so it's not such a big thing, right? Like, you can't be floating 15%. That's just silly.
Yeah. Let's do some closing remarks, and then we can close this.
Yeah, well, I have to mute for 1 second.
Sure. And while he's coming back, so I think Ryan, you said, why can't we share ideas? There's a very active Discord community that you can go on their ideas channel there. You can definitely see what other people are saying, doing, and you can share yours as well. Why do you guys change for supporting MT5? So we completely haven't. We're still thinking about it. That's one of the items in our parking lot. MT5 and C Trader. I thought that TradingView was a good middle ground there. So that's still on the plates. Why can't reset be done on phase 2 of the evaluation? Why taking it? It's all about a process, right? So a grow with a roam. There are certain things you have to prove, or a trader has to prove, before he takes on a certain amount of capital or a certain amount of risk. So it's there so we can vet the right people, the right traders. And hey, if you can do it once, and if you have the process in place, you can do it again. We see no issues there. Man, you guys really care about your traders. Long live stream, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to use that. I'm going to probably screenshot that and show it to my wife, because, yeah, it won't be fun going home. They're really hungry. I just answered that. Okay, that's it. Answered all the questions, Josh. Do you have any last things? Nope. Josh, you back?
Yeah, I don't have anything. Just thank you, everyone, for taking the time to spend with us. And my stream will be from Monday, so if you have more questions, come in, have a chat. I'm happy to answer them.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you all for your time, patience,
Have a good
and
weekend,